Hello everyone and welcome back to Bible Corner Reviews. It's been quite some time since I have done a video. This summer has been very busy and I actually was not able to use my desk for a while, so it's been some time since I've done one, but I have received several copies of the Bible to review, and so I'm ready to get back into it. So today's video is on the New King James Version Compact Center Column Reference Bible from Thomas Nelson. I have two copies here to review. One is the genuine leather and one is in the Leathersoft, so kind of get a little bit of a comparison between these two styles of the exact same Bible. So first, we'll take a quick look at the boxes. The genuine leather box is a clamshell, so it opens up. This one was damaged in shipping, but that's not too big of a deal. You can see the front here, New King James, it's a red front strip on the band, and this one does say black genuine leather. You'll notice that these have the 43,000 cross references and a concordance with the exclusive New King James comfort print. Here's the back of that one. You'll see that this retails for $119.99, and with the Leathersoft, which is the brown, looks the same. It has a single slipcase, and this one retails for $59.99. So there's the back of those, basically the same thing. The only difference really here is the cover. So that being said, I will start out by just taking a look at both of the covers, and then I will focus on the genuine leather through the rest of the video. So that way it's easy to focus on one thing. So the Leathersoft on this is actually quite supple. It's very buttery feeling, which is kind of odd because that's not quite what I've expected from many of the Thomas Nelson Leathersofts. They're starting to, as with any different version of the Bible, they always, each run is a different type of imitation leather. Even just like regular leathers, it's not always exactly the same. So this one's a little bit more tacky. I actually like it. It's, some people might call it a little more rubber style maybe, but it does feel very nice in the hand. You have four spine blocks. One has the Holy Bible, and then the other has the New King James with the Thomas Nelson. Very simple spine. You'll see the gold foil that kind of perimeters that. See if we can get that in the light here. Very, very nice, but not too bold. There's perimeter stitching all the way around, if I can focus. See, that is very consistent. You can see the grain on this. It's quite pronounced, but still smooth. Your ISBN is on the back, and then you have Holy Bible on the front. Gold gilding on the page edges, and then this one has a brown and red 3/8" ribbon, double satin, and then your brown head and tail bands. And that's basically the only thing, and then it is the paste down liner with just a paper, and I don't see any reinforcement tape on this one. Maybe a little bit there. So that is the brown Leathersoft. Now for the genuine leather, the same size and layout. You have Holy Bible on the front. Now this one does have raised spine hubs. You have 5. And then you have the 4 blocks, only these ones are not indented. They're just the gold foil around the edge with Holy Bible, New King James, and then Thomas Nelson. Again, very simple, but this one does have the added hubs, which I do prefer. And you have your ISBN on the back. And this one being black, there is a black ribbon and a red of the 3/8" double satin, and you have black head and tail bands. And again, just plain gold, no art gilding. And then there is a perimeter stitching. Very nicely done. And from what I can tell, the distances around the perimeter are very even. There was no yap that overhung too far on one side. Sometimes they're kind of uneven, especially with the mass-produced ones, but these ones were fairly accurate all the way around. So I'm going to remove the imitation leather for a little bit, and we'll focus on the genuine leather. So the dimensions of this Bible are 7 3/4 by 5 1/4 by 1 1/4 inches thick. So this is a fairly compact, some would call it more personal size, but in my experience, this is kind of a borderline compact personal size. So it's right in the happy medium of a carry Bible and a briefcase Bible, anything like that. So with the genuine leather, you can see the reinforcement tape here. This is a little different liner. It's kind of a synthetic cardstock, just the regular paste down. There is a presentation page here, not on hard cardstock. This is just a thicker Bible paper. Holy Bible. Then it gets right into the opening page, and here's your title page. This one is a 2023 publication, and you can see the couple of special features here. Prayers of the Bible is a copyright 2018. And this one is printed in India, as well as the Leathersoft. They're both printed in India, which is something a lot of people will appreciate over the Chinese editions. Here's your table of contents. Bible book abbreviations, preface to the New King James, how to use this Bible, abbreviations for the notes, and then the Old Testament. So as with all review Bibles that I have, I flip through them entirely, every page, to make sure there's no discrepancies or catch them if there are. And then that also breaks in the Bible a little bit, which helps kind of give you an idea what the Bible will be like after some use. So you can see here, I've done that with this one. It doesn't quite lay open in Genesis, but it is very quick to mold. So I have actually left it open at Genesis for a while at points, and it does end up staying open, but right off the bat, it'll take a little bit of breaking in. So here is the general layout throughout the entire Bible. It is a double column, verse by verse, with the center column references divided by a line, and then you have boldened verse numbers. Paragraphs are marked by a bold number, and there are subject headings throughout the text that also help to identify paragraph breaks. Something I really like that I just noticed was that the chapter divisions within the footnotes and cross-references are quite bold, so you can easily see and locate that this is the beginning of chapter 2 here in the footnotes and cross-references. So that is very helpful. Another thing that you'll see here is that parallel passages are marked and put in parentheses at the beginning of a chapter. I have found this very helpful, especially for a quick reference system, because there are many passages, especially in the historical books, that have parallel references in other books of the Bible. So this is something that is very helpful and something I really like, and especially in these references for the editions like this. This one does not have overcast stitching on the front. However, there is overcast stitching in the back, so I don't know how that works, but they decided only to do it on one side. But you will note that this is a India, not Chinese edition, and a lot of the Chinese do not have overcast stitching whatsoever. Going to another thing with this one is the books of the Bible do begin on their own page. So they begin on a new page. They don't start halfway through. Again, something I am very fond of, particularly of my own. In the poetic settings, you'll see that the verses are not justified, so they just are left hanging. And that kind of creates a uneven look through the pages, but a lot of people like that. I'm not sold one way or the other, which one I like better, whether they're all justified or like this. But this one is typical of the New King James. A lot of New King James are like this. Overall, the color of the text is fairly consistent. This is an edition which I have noticed more inconsistency in the black letter than normal. That could be just my additions, but both of them kind of had some variance in the coloring of the text, especially in the red letter as well. So words of Jesus are in red, and as we saw in the beginning, you can see, especially in the Gospels, with the 4 Gospels having many harmony passages, you'll see that they are referenced, especially for the parables, so we are in Matthew here, and it says which passage also has that reference to that discussion of Jesus. So very helpful for quick reference in Bible study. I'm not sure you'll be able to tell here that there is much variation in the text, but sometimes it's a little bit darker, and it's noticeably so in some places, but overall you can see here, this black letter is extremely dark, where if you even go back here, it's not half as dark. So you can see that there's some variation even in that. But overall, for a cheaper Bible, this one is quite well done, and it is a super easy Bible to use. Going to the end, we have some extra features here. So after Revelation, we have a Read Your Bible in a Year. This one is a nice plan because it is only divided by books of the Bible and chapters. So you can really set up however you want to do your reading plan. It doesn't have to be in a year. It could be in 3 years. It could be in a couple months. You can do it however you want because it's designed just so you can mark off each chapter as you read it. I really like that style of plan. There are prayers of the Bible, and then the concordance. Obviously not a full concordance for such a small Bible, but it is sufficient, and for a reference Bible, it's not bad for being so small. Then there are some pages for notes here. You have 7 pages of notes, 4 notes, and then typical Thomas Nelson Bible maps. These are on a matte finish paper, which is again something I really like because it is less problematic, then they don't bleed through on other maps as much. It's kind of a little bit of a rough piece here where the matte paper is glued in, but other than that, it is a very well done. One thing I will point out here really quick is that not all Bibles are perfect out of the box. This one had a break here in the end of the concordance, which I don't mind because, at least in this case, I could contact, if this was a Bible that I had purchased, I would probably contact Thomas Nelson and just let them know that happened. They'd probably send a replacement for something like that. However, since this is a review copy, I will just put a strip of glue in there and put it back together and it will be fine. But that's just something that it does come up. It's not a big deal. It's not something to be super concerned about in the sense that it will happen occasionally. Not every Bible has something like this. Most Bibles are not going to have problems. Just something I felt I needed to point out considering I am doing a fair and honest review. So there is the end of the Bible, and then I will do a couple comparisons. The first comparison is the personal size Quintel with the compact center column reference. This is also a New King James. These are essentially a comparable in translation and style, but not in price point and quality, but we will compare them anyway because they do have some similarities. So size is probably the biggest similarity between these two. The personal size Quintel on the bottom here is a little bit thicker, but is actually a little bit shorter on the block size and the width. But overall, very similar. You'll see here the Quintel has the art gilding, whereas the compact does not. So we'll open up to a narrative setting here to see the comparison of the layout. The compact center column is a verse by verse, but it is also justified. This one is a paragraph format, but it's justified as well. So overall, it kind of has a very similar vibe, but not exactly the same. The text size on the compact is an 8-point, or in the Quintel, it is an 8.25, I believe. Cross-references in the PSQ are on the bottom, whereas in the compact, they are in the center. But overall, it's kind of a similar design in just size, but a lot of people prefer center or bottom references versus the other. So that's a very needed consideration if that's something you have a preference for. Next up, we have the compact Maclaren series New King James. This one came out earlier last year. This one is a true compact Bible. The text size is a 7-point, and this Bible is a little chunky compared to others because it has a larger font, but it is also still very small. The compact center column has an 8-point type, and again, you can kind of see a little bit of difference here. They do have similarities in the sense that they are very small, very portable, and the compact does have a very readable font, but it is just a tiny bit smaller in all accounts. And you can see, in my eyes, this is much easier to find your place, but this is still very easy to read. Footprint-wise, the compact, a little bit bigger, a little bit wider. Last, we have the New American Standard 2020 Large Print Compact Bible. This one is more for size than layout because it is a little bit different. So the center column reference is the double column verse by verse, and the large print compact is a single column and not verse by verse. This one's not justified, but they do have a very similar size. So you can see text size, I believe this one is an 8.8 or 9, can't remember. I think it might actually be a 9. So yes, it is a 9 because this is a little bit larger. So you got a little bit larger font, no cross references. Obviously, it's a little bit more cluttered to some eyes because of how many words are on a page. And with that single column, it does make it a little bit more cluttered in some sense, but I enjoy single columns, so I kind of am partial to that. The exterior cover this is the Leathertex. Size-wise, very similar. The Thomas Nelson's a little bit thicker and a little bit taller, but other than that, very close. So a comparable size Bible, but obviously the layout is a little bit different. So there you have the New King James Compact Center Column Reference Bible from Thomas Nelson. We had the black genuine leather and the brown Leathersoft. The black is going on the market right now for around $75, and the Leathersoft for around $40. So still very affordable Bibles for the price point and what you get, the quality of materials. Honestly, these are some really fun Bibles. I've really enjoyed using them. I've taken both of these to church just for the review process and just to get acquainted with them. I really enjoy the size. They're very portable, very versatile. The text is easy to read. The 8-point font is very wonderful to the eye. I love the New King James comfort print from Thomas Nelson. It's really nice. The only things that I really noticed was some variation in the text color, especially in the red letter, and then the back piece here with the coming undone in the text signature. But other than that, that is some very minor things that will come up in any Bible, and I think not all of these editions will have the inconsistency in the text. So if you're looking for a very portable, compact Bible and you really enjoy center column reference, or you're not sure, definitely try out the Leathersoft, and this is just a great Bible to be able to carry to church or just use for personal reference.